That's right. Welcome to another Ariaswave live stream. Yes, that was bullish. Very bullish. XLM song. So welcome everybody. Can you hear me now? Good morning, Joshua. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome, Corda. Welcome, Tony. Can y'all hear me? Put a one, put an audio good. Okay, that's fine. All right. So just getting into the groove type thing. We need to get into that groove because y'all been waiting for so long for this. So you need to pat yourself on the back, crack a six-pack, just do whatever it is to make you feel good. Okay, because you need to just feel that. Okay. At the same time, you need to just be aware that this stuff is real, right? What we're seeing is real. It's happening. It's happening in a much more pronounced manner than it did last time, right? Last time we thought we had a low, we had a bit of a move up and then it just chopped out. But we know why. The waves tell us why that happened. So right now it's just about, we're prepared to go, north on this price. And to the members out there, you know what I'm talking about. It's been a long time coming, 1 month. Long time, 1 month. It felt like a long time, right? Welcome, Nikolai. Welcome, Adrian. Yes, Stella wants to buy a MoneyGram. Apparently, it's been in the works for a while now. Apparently, it's been, on the lowdown, but for some reason, news tends to come out at the right time. I don't know how that seems to affect the markets, but for some reason, it seems to be in line with the waves. It's just totally interesting to me how that kind of thing happens at certain points in time. And then you hear other people chatting on the chat saying short. And I'm thinking, wow, do you really want to short this choppy thing? Do you really think this choppy thing is a short? Wow. And then you see this spike up, which, come on, I mean, we haven't broken the magenta line yet, but we're so close. And when something gets sharp like that, to me, it's like, come on, it's a given, right? I need to go to bed tonight and I'm going to go to bed to sleep like a baby. In lockdown baby, Good morning, Billy. Welcome to the live stream. So to me, this is just another example of how the waves fit with the news, except we don't use the news, we use the waves. So that's a key component in my opinion there. So, especially when you're talking about making one more high before you get a big downturn, it's like, what is that? What does that mean? Like, what news are we going to get at the highs to make this thing go low? And even though it's just the waves, it's just the human psychology, there's always a news event attached to, that. And, that's the beauty of the waves. You get to observe the news, after the fact. Basically, you get to see, it's like you can predict, like you have a little, crystal ball, but it's not a crystal ball. It's just like best effort to understand why the markets are doing what they're doing. And then suddenly you get some kind of news event. It's like, okay, fair enough. That kind of makes sense, but not really. I'm just going to go with it. And that's what most people do. They just go with it. They're like, you know what? Everyone's bearish, but this news is pretty bullish, so I'm going to buy the dip. BTFD. And But what happens is that once we hit the highs and we break the highs, it's like, wow, we're getting into this new territory now. And as soon as you break that high and you don't cash out, you're gambling, immediately gambling, because especially if you understand the Ariaswave set of corrective patterns and a zigzag and a type 2 expanded zigzag, etc., right? You understand it. We're already, like, if you hit that high, we're already making a long wave C brackets for a B wave. So anything above that is gambling, which is going to happen. It's a mania high, top high, whatever. But you saw what the US dollar did to XLM. The US dollar only moved up 5%, right? About 5%. And XLM toppled to 70%. What in the world does that tell you? I'm pretty sure that that's a sign that the US, that cryptos are pretty sensitive to US dollar movements at this point in time, given the kind of environment that we're in with stimulus, low interest rates, etc. Matthew, oh, very warm welcome to you, sir. Isn't it interesting that Elon has risen his head to the B word, saying he will be accepting Bitcoin again. He's literally telling us when to buy and sell. That's a pretty interesting thing, right? I'm not going to discount Elon as being pretty smart at all. You know, if I could figure out the waves, I'm pretty sure Elon is way ahead. So I don't know. He's pretty smart, but I don't know. Like, to me, it's almost like, I don't know. It's a game. It's a game to all these people, but I don't know. There's so many questions I have about that I don't really want to get into that, because it's so deep down the rabbit hole that it's basically pointing to a lot of other things that, to me, there's a myriad of things that are going on today in this world that are very questionable, very, very extremely questionable. So I don't know if he's pumping it for his own benefit, but it's almost like he's I don't know. I suppose if you're a believer, you're a believer, right? You can believe whatever you want to believe. The market tends to hurt a lot. It'll be interesting to see what happens at the highs. Will he say something else? Or, I mean, he can't, right? He's already gone too far. Like, any more than what he said in the last few months is going to seem a little bit sus, don't you think? Yeah. Well, that's right, E. coli, and always good to see you. It's just it's like a bear trap, right? No, I don't mean bear trap as in, well, you probably might think that. It depends what you think a bear trap is. But, it's like basically literally inviting you in for some cookies and milk, right? And then suddenly, boom, what's going to cause what's going to be the catalyst for that? That's just totally weird. And especially with Bitcoin not making a new low, fitting quite nicely the whole, Arias waves, in terms of each individual different variants of a zigzag. Bitcoin has performed beautifully to show that exactly that it's not an E wave in Bitcoin. It's a wave 4. I mean, come on, that's too amazingly accurate to be a mistake. So well, it's a bear trap if you're bullish and it's bearish really, but you're bullish. I mean, yeah, bull trap, whatever. But You know, you're walking into my foot got stuck in a bear trap. That's what I meant. But yeah, I know what you mean. So anyway, what up, MoneyGram? What's up with that? Like, uh, mm, MoneyGram is just a business, right? What do they do? What does Western Union do? You know, it's kind of like, you know, it's like trying to be a monopoly, trying to be a monopoly, not being a monopoly, because no one's a monopoly, but trying to gain the upper hand on something. I don't know. Is it something that is just based on human uh, emotion? Like, is it something that is, you know, you've got so much money in reserve. Do you just want to, you know, shine a light on yourself or something? Because I'm pretty sure XLM doesn't really need to do that, but they continually try to. I suppose they're trying to integrate themselves into the system some way, somehow, but do they really need to do that? I suppose during these periods of time, it almost seems like they have to, but I'm pretty sure that once the actual financial system collapses the way it's going to, that they've already got like a seat in the box ready, right? So it's kind of like, you know, you don't really need to try and flex because we like you already. You know, it's we're probably going to buy you. Um, but I was thinking about this today, and I was running a couple of numbers, right? And I thought, you know, if we, you know, just say we triple our money to the highs, which, you know, is a minimum expectation from here, right? So you triple your money to the highs and you take profit, all right? And then, you know, you've made 3 times, you know, whatever you have. And then C wave takes over. Now, C wave is going to be a pretty serious wave, right? You probably don't realize what this C wave is going to do. So we're talking about Bitcoin C wave, and then try and translate that into XLM C wave. It's going to be a bloodbath. Okay, so this is the thing that I really wanted to sort of communicate today. Apart from, you know, XLM's about to break the magenta line, etc. But no doubt that will happen. But there's already evidence of that happening. So the thing I'm thinking about is like, so let's just say XLM tops out. All right, it tops out, maybe it goes to 80 cents. Well, it will go to 80 cents. Maybe it goes to 80, 90 cents, a dollar. Maybe, yeah, maybe. And that's fine if you want to ride it that high. Like that's totally up to you. Like if you feel that you need to, great. Um, that's right, Equali. Yeah, it's just a minor player. That's right. It's just like a flex thing. So anyway, so once we you know, top out and we see maybe 10 cent XLM, okay? But don't ask me what that's going to be in Bitcoin because I really don't want to get into that conversation right now. I just don't think it's really necessary. It's a C wave. I mean, come on, A, B, everybody knows their alphabet, right? So we don't really need to go there. But C waves in general are pretty severe and shocking and terrible. They're terrible things, right? They just like, just say for example, right? You bought at the March 2020 low. You are a smart investor, right? You are a very, you know, how can I say it? You probably have a few followers, you probably have a few fans of your, you know, ability to really buy the dip. I don't know, whatever method you use. If you're good at Ariaswave, well, fair enough. But what happens when all those gains from that low gets wiped out? What psychology will help you get through that if you didn't sell at the high? Okay, that's the thing that you need to ask yourself now. Now's the time. Now is the time. Because if you're a hodler, fair enough, you're just hodling, you don't care, you got 1 million XLM and you're just hodling, whatever, all the way to the bank, in, maybe like 10 years from now. I don't know. But what's that going to do to your psychology if you see your gains all the way from March 2020 get completely wiped out, or most of them wiped out? I'm not saying it's all going to be, but just say, for example, that happens, right? Maybe, I don't know. This is speculation, right? Assumption. Because no one really knows how low that wave's going to go, right? It could go to 10 cents on XLM. It could go to 5 cents on XLM. We don't know. Okay, nobody can know that. How are we going to know, right? Remember, everything's becoming really sensitive to the US dollars movements right now. So I need to remind you again, 5% up in USD equals 70% down in XLM. All right, and we're going to see that again, but I can't really tell you what that's going to do to XLM. So let's just excellent. So anyway, so just say you made triple on XLM from here right now, and then you take those profits and you put them back in at the low. Well, whatever we decide the low is when we track that, we haven't seen that yet. So how can I possibly tell you? I was thinking you can make, yeah, quite a bit, right? It's like 10 times, probably like 10 times what you have now if you add it up. I ran the numbers and I'm like, but that's just like a minimum expectation. It's pretty amazing. But the thing is, if you don't follow these fluctuations from start to finish, you're literally going to be just a hodler, or you're going to be buying at the wrong time at the top, or whatever some people do, right? The people who are talking about selling now, maybe they're going to buy at the top. I don't know. I really don't know what people do. Maybe people try to think about breakout strategies and stuff like that, right? Strategies. I don't think strategies are any good unless you know Ariaswave or you know the waves, whatever method you use, but you're really good at it and it works, whatever. Long-term pattern for me now has become a lot more clearer and crispy clear than ever before. And part of the reason is because, as I mentioned a million times, I started off with the Dow Jones, the Euro, the cross pairs. I did a Euro AUD idea. That was pretty full on. That little cross pair idea, made quite a bit of money. And, the Dow Jones is obviously still making money, but precious metals, stuff like that. I've made money and lost money in precious metals just due to a little, just some confusion with the waves, not really easy to understand. But now I understand what they're doing. I'm going to have to post more about it. But I do think that it's actually going to be more important once we see this downturn coming. But it's a little bit too early at the moment. I do believe that gold is really consolidating now due to something that I heard today, right? George Gammon, very good YouTuber, very good financial, not advice, but he breaks down every single part of how every part of the market works to the best of his ability. And I must say, it's really good. It's really informative. His video today really talked about how can the Fed peg the yield curve? Can they peg interest rates basically? And the question is always if the Fed pegs interest rates, but can they peg interest rates? And the information that this man presented this time around is exactly what I always think about the yield curve, right? The bond yields, right? It's the Fed always is reacting to the market, setting interest rates based on the market. So there's no way in hell that they can peg an interest rate. It's just not going to happen. It's just, no. You can try and peg a currency for a period of time, but trust me, once you unpeg it, that shit's going to go where it's meant to be. And it happened to the Euro, Swiss. Was it the Swiss? It was the Swiss. But the Euro Swiss chart, have a look at that one. 2015, what happened to that when they try to peg something, right? So nature always takes its course no matter what. If you look at those waves, Ariaswave style, you're going to see the waves in there perfect, even though it was pegged. Crazy, right? But that's the amazing thing about the waves, is that they're always going to play out the way they were supposed to, even though they were pegged, right? Because guess what? Pegging is a human thing, right? Pegging, trying to control, whatever it is, the market is made up of all these constituents, whether it's, the little guy, the big guy, the middle guy, whatever. The market is always made up of these players, right? And even the freaking government or the Federal Reserve Bank or whatever central bank is part of that, part of the game, right? Because it's all human, it's all natural. Everything that happens on this planet is natural. Everything, right? That's really getting deep, right? Anybody who says humans are unnatural and they do things to the planet that are unnatural, bullshit, right? We are all part of a natural process unfolding. Everything, every single thing that happens on this planet is a natural process unfolding. Think about it. All right. That is the most important thing that you can think about, because then it will take away all those feelings of, oh, this is manipulated. Well, guess what? Manipulation is also a human thing. Pegging something is manipulation. Oh, it's a human thing. Everything's a human thing. Everything is natural. No matter what it is, burning fossil fuels is a human thing. It's natural. Oil comes from the ground, part of Earth. It's natural. Think about it. So anytime you try to think about anything relating to manipulation or whatever, every single thing that's alive in this Earth, or not alive, whatever, it's all natural. So the waves are always going to be producing this pattern over time. Always. It's the most important thing I have learned by observing these patterns and creating Ariaswave. It's the most important thing I've learned. There is nothing anything can do that will change that. Not going to change. That's a niche. That's a niche right there. You figure that shit out, you've got a niche. I teach that shit. Welcome, Johnny P. Money Ramble. Ecolai says, I think the Fed won't move a bit. It is now pegged to the euro. They know they need to work together. That's why UK pulled out. Good luck. Okay. So the first thing you need to understand is the euro is the US dollar. Same thing. Okay. The euro is the euro version of US dollars. Look it up. So when you say work together, well, they're the same thing. Okay. So euro dollars. Get it? It's the same damn thing. It's just on the other side of the world. So to me, the whole thing's a game, right? It's just a game. It's a big game. It's designed to make you think there's a positive and a negative, a good and a bad, an up and a down. Really, there's no up and down. There's no up and down in currencies. This is bullshit. Everybody's printing the shit out of their dollars, right? This is a big game, and it's all basically comes back down to bond yields, in my opinion, and being a world reserve currency, because that's what they price things against. But apart from that, really everybody's playing the same game. And it's a really dirty game that's designed to make everybody less well off. Let's put it that way. K-shaped recovery, yeah, baked in the cake, part of the plan. So to me, it's just like, what the hell is going on here? Okay, welcome cryptos. Come into the game, because you know what? That's the people's money. That's by design. You know, who created cryptos? Wow, is it a phenomenon? Is it something that's here to save us? Is it something that maybe it's just part of the plan? Or is it just, you know, who cares about all that shit? How about we just all look forward to the future instead of looking at the past? Cryptos, I reckon, is like more connected with the people. Therefore, it's going to be more received, better received. Volatility means growth. So I don't see that same volatility happening in these crappy little currencies that are going around in the world today. But in the future, and this all comes back down to Stellar, XLM, XRPs, and, you know, all the others, beautiful coins out there, Cardano. You know, just there's so many. I don't want to start, you know, rattling off a bunch of names, but at the end of the day, it's there for a reason. Not, like I said to you before, nothing is by accident here on planet Earth. So, you know, Bitcoin being the leader, whatever, all the coins are going to follow Bitcoin. So we know Bitcoin chart, we know XLM chart. That's it. We don't need to really go too much deeper on all the other charts. If you're going to buy Bitcoin, you buy alts. If you're going to buy alts, you buy Bitcoin, right? If you want to sell Bitcoin, you sell alts. If you want to sell alts, you sell Bitcoin. At the end of the day, we know what's going on here with Bitcoin and the alts. I can't tell you what the future brings. Maybe we'll see some alts achieve some levels that are far beyond what they are now, and maybe even catch up to Bitcoin. We don't know. Wouldn't be surprised. Remember, anything can happen. Okay, anything is possible. But for now, what we're doing is we're accumulating. Okay, maybe you missed out the Bitcoin run, fine. But how do we work alts? How do we make money here, down the bottom, right now, at this point in time? So when we get to the future, we have already those altcoins, but we've accumulated, somehow we've found out a way to accumulate more of them, so we can, you know, like what I'm talking about, what I've been talking about since the beginning. Okay, triple. Let's start with tripling our stash, right? And then we're going to take profits. Let's see how that goes, right? And then we're going to see a downturn. Okay. Once we see the downturn and we think that it's down at where it should be, we buy back in, right? We use every available tool in our tool belt to understand when we should get back in. And then we're going to go up, we're going to go down again. Well, when we go up, cash out, understand what pattern you're seeing to cash out how many times, maybe once, maybe twice, depending on the pattern, right? Then wait for that move that I tell you is coming, all right? That last fatality blow from the US dollar. And then, I mean, you've got so many opportunities here to accumulate. The future will be brighter if you accumulate at the bottom. It's pretty simple. Thank you, Johnny P. Love the stellar background. Yes, stellar. So I don't know how else to say it. And it may come across to you, it may not. You may understand what I'm saying, you may not. I don't know what people get these days. I really don't. I've listened to a lot of shite out there, and to be honest with you, I really think that you could speak so much logic to people, and a lot of people will be just like, I don't believe it. I'm sorry, I don't get it. I don't believe it. Whatever it is, wow, I don't know. All I know is that my members, they seem to get it. and that's really good. That's really great. And, you know, they are actually probably dealing with a really complicated move. And that's why it's really important to understand this particular choppy shit that we're seeing right now. So, you know, let's go to that. Let's have a look at that. Hang on a sec. What the hell? All right. So, I mean, I'm giving you guys the complete breakdown of this move right there. The same info I give my members, no explanation provided, of course. But I mean, look at this. Look at this. I mean, look at that. Does that look like anything's going to go lower? Think about it. This is like you've got a tool to measure angle here. 35 degrees. All right, so let's understand that is yeah, we're breaking that. We're breaking that. We're broken it already. Okay. Right there. We've broken that. Look, I mean, just think about that. 35 degrees. All right, have a look at this, right? $23. Around 23 degrees there. Now, I know that's using an angle, but you know, that's a pretty good way to break that trend line. All we got to do now is break that magenta line. And I mean, there is nothing else that could be. I mean, this thing's been flapping around like, you know, in the wind for a while, and look at it. Yeah. XLM hasn't produced this kind of percentage gain in one day for probably a month. Yes. So anyway, I mean, I don't need to bore you with the semantics here, with the wave count. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? We look, let me show you something cool, right? Forget about the labels for a second, right? 500, 1,000 moving average. If you don't like the waves alone, so there you go. In June, we hit, you know, the 500 period moving average. We hit it and we bounced. You know, in 20th of July, we pierced through the 500 period moving average. And we created on the daily chart, you know, Steve Nissen style, we created a morning star bullish reversal pattern with a confirming candle. Now, the confirming candle, right? Let's just have a quick look here at the confirming candle. Right there, okay? Now, you pierce through that 500 period moving average, and you have a bullish confirmation candle plus a bullish even more bullish candle after that. That's you know what that needs? That needs one more bullish candle, right? And that's going to be 3 rising soldiers if you're into candles. I remember when I did my research on everything except the waves at one point, and then the only option was to move to waves, and then I got burnt again, and then I had to create my own methodology, and that was a pretty interesting time. But I do know that 3 consecutive green candles is very bullish. They called the 3 rising soldiers. That's pretty cool, right? That hammer is a very good hammer. It's got a very small real body, very small wick above it, very long wick, lower wick to the downside, and that there is bullish as hell, more bullish than this previous pattern here. That there is mega bullish, mega bullish. But you know what? Look, we're only looking at 3x here. So how much do you have? We're looking at 3x. Well, it's technically 4x if you bought. I don't mean 4x like foreign exchange. I mean 4 times. So if you bought at 20 cents, go to 80 cents, it's 4x. Well, yeah. So you got to take out those bills and smell them, manifest that money. Why not? Manifest that glory. Just make sure you manifest what's coming later, because that's also going to probably take away the nice smelling money. If you don't cash out at the right time, it's probably going to be a little bit painful. But that's where I'm cashing out, by the way. Just so you know, just so it's official, 80 cents or just above that last high, 79 cents, doesn't matter. I'm cashing out. I'm moving to USD something, right? Ecolai, you think Gensler will run the Fed? Just imagine what that would be like. I think he's too much of a logical person to run the Fed. Maybe he'll graduate. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty funny. 32 degrees and rising here. Jesus. It's like 9 degrees here, as you can see down the bottom. That's probably where you looked, yeah. 9 degrees and cloudy. Yeah, it's pretty cold here. Not very nice, put it that way. Yeah, crypto printing. No, that doesn't exist in cryptos, does it? No, it doesn't. But yeah, all right. So anyway, look, I'll show you the Bitcoin chart just to really cap this off here. Having a good time, having a party. It's a pretty good party to have. Now, so this is the count for Bitcoin, right? This is the official Ariaswave count. Now, we're looking at this A, B, C, D, E pattern. So therefore, okay, yeah, that looks like a 5-way move. And by the way, this is where Ellioticians get their truncation bullshit from. Okay. I'm sorry if you're an Elliotician and you're watching, but truncation is a myth. It's bullshit. It's bad analysis. Don't ever believe that crap. There is no such thing as truncation. It's just bad analysis, all right? Because there are 5-wave moves that go in the same direction of the trend. Sometimes, rarely. That's why they say truncation happens rarely. It's actually not a truncation. It's actually an E wave that hasn't made a new low. And it's allowed to do that, by the way. So if you're an Elliotician, I'm really sorry about this, but this Bitcoin thing that's going on here, it produced what an Elliotician may call an ending diagonal, but unfortunately, it didn't make a new low. Now, I know that's really terrifying for an Elliotician, but it did not make a new low. I'm sorry, guys. Unfortunately, Elliott wave doesn't work. So please stop talking about Elliott waves. It's bullshit. Okay. I basically spent a lot of time trying to prove that point, and I fucking did it. It's bullshit. Okay, so why didn't this make a new low? XLM did. Should we expect this to make a new low because XLM did? No, it's a different pattern. I told you already. Okay. So what's Bitcoin doing? Okay, I'm sorry. I've got the 500, 1,000 period moving average still on. And we're past an hour. Oh my God. I should have a sip. All right, fine. So as I mentioned in a lot of my, well, in my members only, well, secret, private, Facebook members only post, and this is a DE pattern. Okay. So have you ever looked at a chart and you've seen little fluff going on around the bottom and then a move up? It's probably DE pattern. Well, yeah, you'd have to understand the waves to understand what I'm saying, but it's a bunch of fluff that happens at the bottom, and you're like really trying to figure out what's that fluff mean. Trust me, I spent a long time trying to figure out what that fluff means. The only problem was that is you don't see it so often, so you can't really go say, "Oh, there's that fluff again." No, but when you see it, when you know the waves and you see, you kind of get it, kinda. You do. But then you're looking at other charts too, so it kind of becomes pretty obvious, like XLM in this case. So it's actually interesting because even though I didn't expect a new low in XLM before, and I also said we don't expect a new low in Bitcoin, well, we saw one in XLM, it slightly dipped below the low, like literally, it was so small, it was a double bottom, right? So that made me change my view, and really that doesn't really change much. Like, I mean, we own these coins, right? We're not margin trading. Like, I know I'd never recommend that. Not at this point. There will come a time where I will say, load it up, fellas, load it up. But right now, no. So therefore, you're not futures trading this stuff. We just own the coins. So it's kind of like, well, what does this price action mean when you own the coins? Not much really, because it's just either going up or down. Okay. You either panic selling or you're buying out of fear. I don't know how some people trade, but the fact that this didn't make a new low is telling of the DE pattern, because how else would you explain that kind of price action? So therefore, you can see that Bitcoin broke above those moving averages, and it's kind of like hovering above the 1,000 period, but pretty soon, I'm pretty sure we'll see that 500 cross above the 1,000. And that's a more valuable, in my opinion, more valuable moving average, configuration compared to like 100, 200 period. That 100, 200 period is like, are you gambling or something? Are you day trading or something? Because those are too small of a time frame. Okay. 1,500, 1,500 period moving averages, they're more realistic, right? And trust me, they work better than you think. You just probably don't use it much, but it's very important. You need to have a more of a long-term view, right? That's why, like, don't give a crap what happens after 1 month. I'd rather have more of a solid view for the midterm rather than just try to make some money on the short term. Make it, lose it, make it, lose it, make it. Doesn't really matter. Like, it's pointless. Quarter XRP thoughts. I like XRP, but I'm not going to really bother with it until we see the C wave happen. Okay. And that's because we've seen way too much crap happen with the SEC lawsuit since March. It's been a bit of a shit show with XRP. So let's just reset our thinking after wave C happens. Okay. XLM has not had to endure that kind of BS. So therefore, we just, at least for the rest of the B wave, we're going to just look at XLM, right? Now, it may happen, and I wouldn't be surprised because I like XRP, that I may start doing XLM and XRP videos alongside each other because I love both of those coins. But it won't happen until we see the C wave really take hold, because it's going to present opportunities across the board. And then, DE pattern. DE pattern is really the key here. Make money in D, take it off in E. Once again, it's gonna produce that result that we're looking for, so we can get ready for the end of this correction since 2017, the end of wave 2, and then we can just hold on to coins once and for all and margin trade the shit out of things, 3x, 5x, whatever you want. But at this point in time, it's just about accumulation, trying to accumulate that, those coins, and increase the amount of coins you own, and then sell it all, wait for the E wave to happen, and then buy more, hold. There's a time to hodl and a time to buy and sell, to actually swing trade. In this particular moment, definitely I'm thinking swing trading 100%. But there will come a time where we're holding that. We're holding, because this is going to become crazy. It's going to be like, the beginning of Bitcoin, but 10 times more crazier, right? Hyperinflation, and just money printing, and so much other stuff's going to be going on around that time that, I would probably not swing trade. This is the accumulation phase. Yeah, Mr. Jed McCaleb has links to the elites, apparently. No. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things with Jed. The guy seems a little bit too normal for my liking. I reckon he's definitely got his fingers in all sorts of pies. But, whatever, that's just my assumptions. We don't really know for sure. Why bother trying to assume things? How about we just trade them, because they're all following Bitcoin anyway. So producing variances of the Bitcoin pattern, But I'm pretty sure that the C wave that's coming is not going to be much of a variance there. It's just going to be straight freaking down to the ground. That's going to be the one that's going to test everybody. It's going to test everybody. It'll make you really think about what is crypto, what's going on. It's going to send people into all sorts of thoughts, right? But really, you just got to understand it's just part of the patterns, right? Because when you see something really sharp to the downside, we have not seen that yet in cryptos. We haven't seen it. All we've seen is a really choppy A wave. In Bitcoin, it was just a zigzag, B up. But when you see something come all the way back down again, it's going to really impact psychology of cryptos. And that's actually really important, right? Because that's a psychological signal for the people who aren't versed in cryptos to sell. Okay. Well, whoever isn't versed in the waves to sell. But for those who are versed in the waves, they will buy the shit out of that whenever they assume that C wave has ended. They will buy the shit out of that. No question. I'm going to be there. I'm going to track that. I'm going to recommend. Not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. But I will definitely tell you what I'm doing, and I will recommend based on the waves only. The waves talk to me, like, they are sending me vibrations from a different dimension. So that's the whole plan. Sell at the highs, buy at the lows. I mean, come on, does that sound logical to you? I don't know. I don't know, but to me, I don't know. I'm just, maybe I'm different, but it sounds, fairly logical to me. Sell at the highs, buy at the lows. Imagine I could sell that to someone. Imagine. Sell at the highs and buy at the lows. I'm just going to write that down. Excuse me for. I'm just kidding. I'm just going to have a drink. So anyway, jokes aside, it's been great to catch up with you guys, and I know it's been a long road. It's been pretty interesting to see the market go up, down, up again. But well, this is a Bitcoin chart. Sorry, I'm on the wrong chart. I'm not gonna leave you guys on the Bitcoin chart. I mean, seriously, we don't care about that. Well, Bitcoin is important, of course, but at the end of the day, we're all pretty big fans of XLM. So XLM has clearly broken through that 500, 1,000, period moving average, but it's broken above it in style, right? In style. It hasn't rejected it. Well, let's go to the 1 hour. Wow. There you go. On the 1 hour, it's actually come back to retest the break of the 500, just to say, hey, look, I know last time we met, I got rejected, but this time I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm going to break you and your friend, and I'm going to the top. Simple as that. So, if you didn't know the waves, you would think, well, it broke before, it broke again, but maybe it's just going to keep going lower. Maybe this is downtrend. But that's the problem with just using indicators. You're just going to be using, the fact that the blue line is under the red line. And you'd be like, oh no, this is still in a downtrend. I should add to my positions. But hang on a minute. Doesn't there come a point where it actually breaks through those? Who judges that? How do you judge that? Maybe by the time you actually get to judge it by visual confirmation, maybe it's it's not too bad, but there's going to come a time where you're going to do that again, and it's probably not going to work out too well for you. So anyway, just rambling. Yeah, if you understand this, but you know what, that's fine with me. I suppose when we hit those highs, we're going to have another conversation again like this. And maybe when we go back down again, all the way back down to the lows, we're going to have another conversation about this. But ultimately, some people are going to want to learn how it actually works, because it's going to be pretty detrimental if you don't. And you know what? Most people lose money. So why would most people like to learn the waves? It just doesn't make any sense. That's right, Johnny P. I'm selling at 80 cents. I'm basically bailing out on XLM at 80 cents. That doesn't mean I don't love XLM. It just means that we're in a bear market. And you know what? I'm not going to surrender my money to anything in a bear market. I don't care if you're XLM or any other beautiful coin that looks shiny, but there will come a time again when I'm buying that and I'm going to buy it more aggressively. And then I'm going to sell it again and buy. And when I think I should hold it for longer, I'm going to keep holding it. But that's what the waves do. That's the beauty of what I teach. Ariaswave.com. If you want to learn it, learn it. If you don't, keep following my videos. And if you decide that it doesn't work for you, that's great. All right. So visit the website. If you have any questions about this, submit on the contact page. I am the one who runs everything. I made it from scratch, everything, the website, the wave theory, everything. So keep in touch. I'm here, never going to go away, never going to leave, never going to give this up, never going to let you down. Okay. 160 is going to be nothing one day, but let's just get there in a very predictable manner rather than just shoot the stars with numbers that don't mean shit, when it doesn't really matter if you triple your money in a bear market compared to double your money in a bull market. It doesn't matter. We could definitely 5 to 10 to 20x our profits in a bear market before we actually get into the bull market. Okay. That's what I've been talking about. So how about we just stick to the script and follow the waves, short-term swing trading style, Ariaswave style, and then we'll take it from there.